Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tea and Banter with me. It's me, Mary Elizabeth.
And Felicia.
So, we took a break.
Yeah.
With the holidays, we decided, it's Easter and all of that. We just needed a little time off. So,
And I had a little bug, but I'm okay.
yes.
As a
So, we're back. But in that time, I was able to get a few books done, a couple of granny squares, and some journaling done, and list making. And I'll talk about that in a few minutes. And what about you?
I'm loving this book, but I am enjoying annotating. I'm still annotating this book, which I absolutely love. I absolutely love this book. And how can I say this? Because now I think it's a character I liked.
What's the name of the book again?
Stalking Jack the Ripper.
Okay.
And now I think it's a character I actually liked.
Okay, but you can't give it away.
No, I know. I can't give spoilers. That's what makes it so tough, because this is so good. And I'm halfway through, but yeah. And I've done a lot of annotating, which I've always been nervous to do. But I did it.
Did you
And
do
I'm
any
enjoying
writing
it.
in?
Oh, yeah. Look at this. Like, I'm enjoying this. Like, I never thought I would. I really didn't think I would. I thought I'd be that nervous, but I'm having fun with it.
So in your annotation, are you guessing? Like, are you taking guesses of who it is? and
I've
things like that?
taken like 14 guesses
Have you?
throughout the book, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But I think it's I don't think it's who I originally thought it was, but now I think it's another person who I actually liked. So I think it's usually always the character I like. I think that's what makes it heartbreaking. It's usually the person I like.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's still a good book.
So, okay. So I'm gonna go over actually 3, 4, 5 books, I think. 2 I did granny squares for, and 1 I still need to do a granny square for. I said previously, the Kindle books that I'm reading, I haven't done granny squares for. Whether I go back and do that, I'll have to see. But I'm gonna, and also I did do 3 of the books in my reading journal, which again, I haven't included my Kindle books in my reading journal. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I probably need to, because I have read some good ones on my Kindle, but I will show you the journals afterwards of what I've completed, things like that. But to move on, I'm going to open this only because I did take notes for a couple of the books so I don't forget, and I want to make sure that I give you all the information. So the first book I read was Third Grave by Dorinda Jones, and this is the Charlie Davidson series. And this is, Charlie is a Grim Reaper, and she partners with Satan's son, and solves murders, and there's ghosts in it and all of that, so it's a lot of fun. In this one, her husband hires her, because she's a private investigator, to look for his wife, but she believes he killed her. So, and she's also looking for the man who was raising Reyes, but was abusive. And Reyes went to jail for murdering the man who was raising him. But in this book, it is a spoiler, so if you want to stop. But in this book, she is hunting him because he actually is still alive, supposedly. So, very good book. I gave this 4 stars. I'm just having a great
Book read?
I need to knock on a lot of wood. Yeah, because this year has been amazing. So I don't think, did I have any? Oh yes, I did. I did have, I think the Oxford Tea Room was a 3-star. Brownies and Broomsticks was a 3-star, but nothing. I haven't DNF'd anything, and I haven't had a 1 or a 2-star rating. It's been really good. So do you have any other books or anything before I continue?
No. I'm working on this. Honestly, I'm doing this and reading the last 2 Enola because they were on the list.
Okay.
So I'm doing that at the same time.
Okay.
Multitasking.
So, and this is the book that I haven't done the Granny Square for yet. I do need to do that. Well, what's interesting about this one is really...
It's just red.
It's red, gray, silver, and white.
That's not gonna
So it's not going to be too bad. I will have 2 of one color because I think I do 5.
You do?
A 4 and a 4, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4 colors and a black trim.
Okay.
So this is only 3 colors, so one of them will have to be done twice. And I'm thinking the red because it's mostly red.
Yeah.
On the cover, so I'm thinking the red will go twice.
Well, yeah, because of her dress and her sneakers.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So.
And she wears chaps.
She does.
Oh, she's the homie.
She does. She wears chaps. Yeah, I like Charlie. She's very cool. And she has a couple of side characters. Her best friend, Cookie.
Cookie?
That's what her nickname is.
That's
and she's
cool.
kind of like Charlie's secretary. Things like that. And Cookie has a daughter, a young daughter. Yeah, so, but Cookie is really funny. So, yeah. So the next book I have is called Autopsy of a Fairy Tale by Nicole, I'm going to say Scarano. If I say that wrong, I apologize. So, this is a very loosely based telling of Beauty and the Beast. And before I go any further, I did do the Granny Square for this one, and I think it came out awesome. It really did. So I'm very happy with that. So let me skip through to that one, so I can just give you a highlight. This is a great murder mystery. It does have, it's not a cozy mystery, it's a little more gruesome. And this is about Isabel. I can't remember her last name. She is a detective, and she works in, I believe it's in Chicago. But one night while on duty, she gets attacked, and left for dead. And so she survives, but then moves to a small town to not have to deal with that, to kind of heal and all of that. Well, you know what they say about small towns sometimes. You end up with murders. So there is a mystical, a magical element to this, obviously. Right. Again, it's a loosely translated Beauty and the Beast. And how do I say this? The murders, like I said, are a little more gruesome, but, and I know this sounds awful, but they are done so creatively.
Really?
I know that sounds
horrible.
Yes, I know that sounds horrible. But when I was reading it, now the artwork is in here. I won't show you the murders because there is the pictures of the murders in here. So I can show you this because this is just the beginning of every chapter. And I just think that's beautiful too. But the murders are beautiful too. And actually, I said to Felicia, one of these... Would it be horrible if I copied it, and put it in a frame on my wall, because it's beautifully done.
Yes, it is beautifully drawn.
Yes, the artist did a phenomenal job. and the murders are truly gruesome, very creative. So
Well, that's why I asked you, is it on the idea of Jack the Ripper?
No.
Because that really is... Whew.
No, it's not. It's not. Again, it's loosely based on Beauty and the Beast. And there's plenty of suspects. So...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It is a phenomenal book. There's also, and I don't know how to say his name. I think it's Eamon, Eamon Stone. And he is what I would consider the Beast.
Okay.
Like, that's, he's not friendly. He's lives in a dark house that needs work and all
He's
of that thing.
edges.
Yeah. And he's her number one suspect. She thinks he's the killer.
Okay.
So he is one of the suspects, but there are quite a few. So, yes, and I gave this, I believe, a 5-star. And yes, I did. 5 stars. It's a series. I will be continuing. Please help me.
Oh, it's a series.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I didn't know it was a series.
Yes. The next book is Forensic something, I think. And that is going to be, I believe, a Goldilocks one.
And the 3 Bears?
I believe. I have to look it up, but I do plan on getting the second one. The next one...
Yay, new series. Then I'm going to have to get for
I need
myself.
to be prepared. That's what I need to do for this one. This one...
Just you talking about it. Whew.
Is called Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. This is a very popular book. A lot of people on BookTube have reviewed this. I believe it has gotten great ratings, but to be perfectly honest, I didn't want to listen to a lot of it because I wanted to, once I knew the premise, I wanted to read it for myself. So, but the first thing I'll get out of the way is show you my square to this book. And I think that came out good as well. And like I said before, Felicia's picking my colors for me. So she's doing a fabulous job.
Oh, thank you.
So this book, you need a lot of tissue. It does have a lot of trigger warnings. So it does have abuse. So if that's something that bothers you, I don't recommend reading it. But if you like a book about survival, love, family, it's a phenomenal book. So, I'm sorry, I had a peppermint patty. A little one. And my allergy to food. Anyway, so this is about Cora and Dean. Now, Dean is Cora's sister's fiance. So, let me go back. Cora, it was kind of like a nerdy girl, and originally Dean had a crush on her, but they were young, and the way he showed having a crush on her was, I think it was putting spiders in her shoes, things like that, like really kid stuff, but it made her angry and not like him. Further down the line, he ends up with her sister, and they're together 15 years, and then they decide to get married. Now, during that time, Cora and Dean do not get along. They fight all the time, but it's not like an angry kind of fighting. And the only example I can remember off the top of my head is every year they buy a gift for each other at Christmas. Now, one time he buys her a gift and she don't buy him one, and the following year she buys him a gift and he don't buy her one. This particular year, she buys him the book of Mice and Men. And he opens it and he goes, "Oh, a book." And she says, "Yes, I thought you would like it." And so he opens it and all the pages are blank. And he says, "Oh, they're all blank." And she says, "I didn't think you'd notice." So Because she's basically is telling him he can't read, whatever. So, but when she's leaving, she actually hands him the real book of Mice and Men. So that kind of goes to their information. Well, one night they go to a club, and there's a bunch of them, and then they all leave, and she's there with her friend, just her and the other friend, and the friend ends up having to leave. So she finishes her drink, goes outside. She's going to call an Uber and finds that her pocketbook is missing, or her wallet and her keys are missing, and her phone. And so, not her phone, sorry. Her keys and her wallet are missing. So she's trying to decide. There's a man there, and he tries to talk to her. She walks away. She's trying to think of who she can call, and the only one left that will answer their phone is Dean. And he doesn't hesitate. He comes to get her, and the guy is still there. And he picks her up, and they're driving, and then there's a cop car that pulls them over. They think is the cop car. The man breaks the windows, knocks them out, and kidnaps them. Then from there, it's all about how they survive being in a basement of this man's home and what he does to them and makes them do. When they are able to get free, it then turns into how you survive after that kind of trauma, and how it doesn't just affect them, but the people around them. And it changed them, and it changed their relationship. And it's just, I snot cried through probably this whole book. It's fantastic. Fantastic. I don't even need to tell you, I gave it 5 stars. 5 stars. So, then on my Kindle, and I'll put a picture here, I read, and I don't know the author's name off the top of my head, but the picture will have it. It's called Torment, and it's a 2-book series. This book is about a motorcycle club gang, and it is a mother and daughter, a young daughter, and the little girl loses her father, and a year or 2 goes by, and the mother meets this man, James, who is a biker. They fall in love, and he has a son named Shay. So the mother and father get married, and they're at a lake or a beach having a party with everybody, whatever, and Shay is already fighting with people, getting into fist fights. The mother gets very upset, wants to take her daughter away from there, doesn't want her near him. James takes the daughter, gives her to Shay, and goes to try to deal with the mother or whatever. And so Shay takes her to the little park area, and he just sits down, puts his hands on his legs, and puts his head down. And it's in the book, she's talking, and she notices how sad he is, and she brings him a flower, and he asked her, what is this for? And she said, because I want you to be happy. And he says to her, no one's ever given me something and just for me and want me to be happy. So needless to say, this is another tearjerker book, but it's also about mental illness and how parents sometimes don't know how to deal with it, and can also be the instigator to make it worse or better. In this case, worse. And the only one that Shay loves, the only one is not Cora, the little girl. And for the life of me, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But it is a tragic story. There are murders in it. There are gang rivalries. There's mafia in it. But it boils down to Shay and mental illness. And the tragedy that happens when it goes unchecked and it doesn't, help isn't given in the way it should be, in the whole one person being your universe, how it can be unhealthy and what can happen when it doesn't go your way. Really tragic book. Again, 5 stars. I don't own the books. I have them on the Kindle. And so, again, I'm not sure if I will keep them in the, do squares for them, put them in the book. I kind of want to, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I just keep, unfortunately, books that I'm picking, I'm thinking they're one thing on some of them, and they're totally other, and they're just tearjerkers. And so, yeah. But going back to Torment, I want to say that Shay is put into the biker club as a member at a very, very young age. I think he's 13. And the job that he gets is to be the enforcer, which someone with mental illness, that's certainly not the road you would want that person to go down. But I'm not going to give you any more of that. I highly recommend it. Again, there are triggers, so be wary of that. Read the description before you decide whether that's a book for you. Again, 5 stars. So I think that's all I have. You don't, though. You have something else.
I do?
Mm-hmm.
What do I have?
Well, what did you do for the first time?
What did I
The
do?
other night with the phone.
With the phone?
Oh, sweet baby Jesus, people.
Which time?
Okay,
What
did you
exactly
do
did I
something in your room? Did you do something
Oh,
to your room?
that! My bad. Yeah, I did a little video showing you guys my space and my books and things I have in my room that are hung. I mean, I still need 3 more things hung, I think. 4 or maybe 4, which eventually my dad will do that.
I don't have a look today either.
But,
So,
yeah, I did do that.
yeah. So we're going to include that video somewhere in this vlog. And it was Felicia's first time using her phone and doing a little film, and she had got a little extra bookcase and kind of rearranged her books. And I think you did a Harry Potter display, little shrines display, which is really nice. So we will add that. But we're going to stop here. And I just want to do a quick review of my reading journal as well as my list journal. And the list journal I started because I started watching the YouTuber Lail by Mail. Yeah, that's her name, Lail by Mail. I'll put her in her YouTube channel in the description. And the reason why I loved her channel is she is doing a journal in a different way. She's doing it with lists. And the thing that I like about that is I have said previously, I love genealogy. I love knowing about the past and your ancestors or whatever, but people don't leave enough behind. So I just thought, again, my journals and stuff my kids can throw away when I'm gone, or they can keep them and look through them, have a laugh, have not, look through them and throw them away, whatever they want to do. But for me, I want to be able to leave some things behind in case they have a question. Maybe there's an answer in there. I don't know. But the list sounded like a really cool thing. Also, it makes me kind of think of myself. So, I'll give you an example when we get to the list, what I mean by that. So hold on. Not off.
So this is a page I did on Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. I love this book. I read this book when I was little, and I read it every year. It's one of my favorite classics by William Shakespeare. And I did a quote, which I love. And I got all the stickers, because sadly I can't draw. unfortunately, but I think it came out good for my first book page. And then I did another one on Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which I also gave 5 stars. And again, these are stickers because I can't draw. But I think they came out really, really good. Especially this page. Which kind of gives spoilers, but I think by now everyone should know what's in the chamber. I could be wrong. But yeah, this is definitely a 5-star book. This book actually gave me nightmares when I read it and when I saw it, because I am not a snake person. I've never been a snake person. And I don't think snakes should be that big. Ever. In anything. So yeah, that was unfortunate. But other than that, that was a 5-star read for me. I think I did a Dracula one, but I'm not 1,000,000% sure. Oh, no, I did. Dracula is one of my favorite Gothic novels. A horror thing. I love vampires. I could read anything about vampires, witches, and Dracula is definitely up there for me. That's a big one. I did a whole page on that. And again, stickers because I can't draw. Enola Holmes, I do love that series, but I also love Sherlock Holmes, so having Enola Holmes and Sherlock being in it is really, really good. So I read those. I'm actually almost done with the series. I think I only got 2 left, because I think in total there's 6. So I think I'm on the last 2 to this series, and then that's finished. I also did The Secret Garden. I loved that as a kid. That's also a 5-star read. I enjoyed this book a lot. This is a big part of my childhood. And then I love Edith Wharton. I've read Ethan Frome, The Age of Innocence, and The House of Mirth, and I think my top would be House of Mirth. That's a really good one. I enjoy her writing very much. And she's not a very popular author now, but I stumbled upon her books in the library. And I picked them up, and they were old-fashioned books, which was surprising for a library. And that's why I picked them out. I like really old books, and I usually go for that. And I also did Northanger Abbey because that's one of my favorites. I love Mr. Tinley. Oh God, Henry Tinley, I love him so much. He's one of my book husbands. Adore him in this book so much. And I even love this quote because this is a Mr. Tinley quote. The person, be it gentleman or lady, who has not pleasure in a good novel must be intolerably stupid. And that's one of my favorites. I absolutely love this. And that's what I did. I did a little book journaling. I really need to get caught up on more reading, but this I found time to do. And now I need to catch up on my reading, which is on my to-do list. So I'm glad I was able to show this to you guys, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, everyone, it's my turn to go over my reading journal. And as I stated previously, 2 of the books I read was Third Grade and Still Beating. So this one, because skeletons are a big part, red is on the cover, I did that. And then I just made this very simple and, put a little bit about what the book's about on here. So it's not particularly fancy or anything like that. But it is, again, 4-star. It has a lot of humor, and it's very heartfelt. So it's definitely a 4-star read. The next book I talked about earlier was Still Beating. And this one I like because I did kind of like a tip-in. And this is the necklace. This necklace Dean gives Cora that says, as long as it's still beating, you're okay. So basically, as long as your heart's still beating, you're okay, and you'll make it. And it's just if you read the book, you'll know what he means by that. But again, the courage, the survival, the ability to escape, it's just, again, wonderful book. I really enjoyed it. And I actually really enjoyed making this page. Again, doing a tip in. I'm not a good artist, but I do think that this came out well. So, and then this page, which for some reason the washi tape is coming up. So I previously told you guys in another video how I made mistakes on not separating into months previously. So I made sure I did that for April. So I separated it and made an April page, so that now moving forward, any books will be books that I've read in April. And the book that I have read in April so far that I've added in here is Autopsy of a Fairy Tale. And so far, this is my favorite page that I've done. To me, it's very creative because I'm not autistic. So, you know, I try to do kind of like in the police station, little evidence kind of piece, as well as an autopsy report file. And in here is where I put kind of my synopsis of what the book's about. And here I put the heart with a bunch of flowers in it. This is pivotal to the story, but I don't want to tell you why. I don't want to give it away. You'll need to read it for yourself. So, again, 5 stars. Cerberus, the dog, is phenomenal. He is actually a pit bull, but unfortunately, this is the only dog sticker I had. So, yeah. So, and I just used paint to try to do a fingerprint and blood, but again, it's my favorite so far that I've done in being creative. And this here square, I've never done this before, and with the little tape, and I got this idea. If you're wondering about how to make the different squares, Jazzy Corin, and I will leave her channel in the description, has, I think it's called Doodles, and she does a whole YouTube video on the different squares that you can make for your journals. And so I did get this idea from her. And for someone who can't draw, like, that's a masterpiece to me, I know. So, yeah, she's really good, and I will leave her in the description box for you to see. So that's it for my reading journal right now. I know I could add a lot more books in there, and I actually am tempted to do that. But I want to kind of move on and show you this little beauty. Both of these that I'm showing you are Archer and Olive. I do love Archer and Olive, and this one has the little books with the candle and green, so it's gorgeous. This one is I got inspired by Lael by Mail, and again, it talks about, so for me, it also brings attention to me of knowing myself as well, and then leaving something for future people to know about me as well. You know, this is just a little bit of me now, what I like, what I'm into, you know, my crochet, my genealogy. I did this page on the streets that I have lived on throughout my life. And actually, I've lived on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 streets. There's actually more, but I was too little and can't remember some of those streets growing up. But we moved a lot when I was little, and when I was on my own at 14, that I don't have all the streets. Anyway, this one is some of my favorite words. Ass-butt, I'm going to put that right out there. Shenanigans, whatchamacallit, you know, malarkey. I always say to my kids, stop your malarkey, stop your shenanigans. So just different words. I love being called Nana. I love being called Mom. So that was just a list of that. Some of my favorite movies of all times, The Goonies. My my 2 number 1 favorites is The Full Monty, The Picture of Dorian Gray, While You Were Sleeping, Jane Eyre, The Princess Bride, K9, Turner and Hooch, Fright Night, and Hiding Out. And TV shows, you might not know some of these because a lot of them are British shows, but I love Open All Hours, Still Open All Hours, Supernatural, Only Murders in the Building, Father Brown, Sherlock, Tulsa King, and Vicious. This one I thought was really cute. It's a food thing, and I kind of was proud of myself. I made a little pocket and then slid it out and did my favorite foods. Now, I'm going to list them because there's a little story to this. So I was reading this to Felicia, and I read pasta, bread, steak, potatoes, tea, and pizza. And she informed me that tea is not a food. And I tried to explain, but I would give up everything for tea. So she still proceeded to tell me it's not food. So what I did was I just had scones so I could keep my tea. So that's in there. But anyway, I was kind of proud I did. And then my favorite music is basically my 5 musical husbands, which is Chris Stapleton, Eric Church, Keith Urban, Blake Shelton, and Journey, specifically Steve Perry. So just, again, I'm not going to read everything to you, but I have a list of my favorite authors, my addictions. Those I think are pretty obvious. Books, tea, journals, genealogy in England and Ireland. Some of my favorite quotes, both from books as well as from inspiration, just from hearsay. Then things I want to stop doing. So as I'm doing these lists, they are really bringing things to the forefront for me. Things like letting others drain my energy. I don't want to do that. I don't want to keep having the fears of what ifs, making the same mistakes. Things I wish I'd known sooner. It doesn't matter what people think of you. Never judge a book by its covers. Things like that. I have to share this with you because this is dreams, and basically you could list a bunch of dreams, but I have 2 dreams. One's kind of personal, but when I was a little girl, I had a very scary dream that I had every single night of my life, and it was basically a man's head that would come down the long hallway, and he would say his ABCs to me, and he had this smile on his face, and it was very scary, and it would wake me up into the sweats every night, actually into adulthood. And it did not stop until one night I actually saw the face. And when I saw the face, the dream stopped. But it's a dream that I remember to this day. I do know who that person was, but for some reason, I didn't want to see the face is what I'm thinking. But needless to say, that's a dream that I remember. The funny dream that I decided to also include here to offset that is in regards to my mother-in-law. Shame on her for having an affair with Martin Luther King Jr. Now, I don't know where this came from. I have no idea. But all I remember is waking up and saying, oh my God, how am I going to tell my husband that his mother had an affair with Martin Luther King Jr.? Now, let me preface this by saying that my mother-in-law is no longer alive. She never had an affair with Martin Luther King Jr. I don't know what this was, but I really believed it in that moment, and so I can never forget it. And I was just so concerned about how I was going to break this news to my husband, who proceeded to look at me like I was crazy, but when I told him. So anyway, a done page. I'm done seeking support and enthusiasm. I just need to do that for myself, competing with everyone else, things like that. And then I just did March in a review. Just doing, I was up to 350 YouTube subscribers in March, things like that. Starting the list notebook in March. My favorite YouTube channels, Sign Duo, The Unexpected Gypsy, Ophelia Talks, Jazzy Corin, Lail by Mail, which is 2 I just mentioned on here. So yeah, just having this This one I really love. Things I miss and don't miss when they were kids. Cuddling with Felicia on the couch to watch PBS mysteries and comedies. Things I don't miss, Felicia rolling her eyes. Things like that. I just thought that was a cute little thing. A little birdie told me, forgive yourself, to think about what could be. Turn your wounds into wisdom. Things like that. So when I was a kid, that's my rodeo dial phone. It's not perfect, but we roll down the windows in our cars. We had to get up to change the television station. We had only like five, 6 stations, things like that. If I had a time machine, what would I do? And so kind of listing kind of things of, I would have joined a book club. I would have had the courage to ask my mom the questions of why, things like that. So that's where I'm at right now. And I find this very inspiring, and also, it gives information for future, but also opens my eyes to some things as well. So yeah, so that's all I have for today. I will be putting Felicia's little video at the end. I hope you enjoy it. And till next time, I hope that you are all loved, and I hope you're all safe. Bye.
Hi everybody, it's Felicia from Tea and Banter with my mama Mary. I just wanted to give you guys a glimpse into my space. So as you can see, I've got a lot of Harry Potter stuff. So my friend made that for me out of my Clue board game that fell apart, unfortunately. But that came out really nice, and I'm glad I didn't have to throw it away. She also made me this for the house of Ravenclaw, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Gryffindor. And she made me this amazing lamp that has the sorting hat, and all around it has the houses as well. And it's glitter. I absolutely love glitter. My mama got me that. It's a Vera Bradley, and it has Hedwig and the castle and all kinds of things. And I can show you some of my bookcases. Sorry about the window, it's glare. My mama got me this bag because I love Disney as well. I'm a Disney girl, can't deny. As you can see, all my books. My Evil Queen mug. Unfortunately, I can't use it anymore. It leaks at the bottom. I love that mug for tea, but I use it for bookmarks now. I'm just going around here. These are my other books on this shelf. Some of them I've read, some of them needs a reread. As you can see, I have so many. I'm not really picky on certain things unless it's more like, I guess I'm not really a Fitzgerald or a Steinbeck fan. It's more mysteries, certain fantasies type of things, Classics, can't say no to a classic. Classic mysteries, Frankenstein, Dracula, all that kind of stuff. This might be a little hard to see, but that's my Percy Jackson series. They're kind of like little things, The Wizard of Oz. Retellings, really, that are really good. I actually need the third one to the Spell series. I need Banished, I believe it's called. And now I'm going to take you to one of my favorite shelves because I think I decorated this so good. But my Harry Potter on the top there with one of my bags. And I have the old edition that first came out in America, as you can see, with my Luna Lovegood, and that's actually a Always mug. But that too leaked, so I had to do that. More Harry Potter, as you can see. More bookmarks. And my Twilight series, my House of Night. And on the bottom I have a few mangas. Would love to get some more. So this is my little space and collection that I thought I'd share with you guys. And I know it's been a while. I hope everyone had a great Easter. And I hope to see you soon with Mama on Tea and Banter with me. Don't forget, we love you all. Bye.